Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 2 college football slate. We're going to break down 3 plays I like for the games on Saturday. We did have some games on Friday night, but I'm recording this video Friday afternoon, didn't really see any plays I liked for the Friday night games, so just going to skip those games, focus on the Saturday slate. I've got 3 plays I'm going to give out in this video, guys, and as always, we're going to break down these plays, and we're going to share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure that you go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and play $5. You're going to get $50 worth of free lineups instantly added to your account. And also, I do want to shout out Prizepicks, so they have another free square available for Sunday Night Football for the NFL. So they did a free square for the Thursday Night Football game, for the kickoff game, but they have another free square available. Lamar Jackson's pass yards is set at 0.5, and this is a free pick available to everyone. And I know this is a college football video, so obviously NFL, college football different, but you don't have to know anything about the NFL to know to take a free square. You take that free square and you compare it with any props you like. You don't have to take NFL props. You can pair it with college football plays. If you want to use the free square and pair it with some college football plays I give out in this video, you could do that. It's up to you, but that's just another incentive to sign up for Prizepicks right now. They have a free square available for Sunday Night Football. Use that free square again. And if you don't have an account on Prizepicks, sign up with promo code NOAH so that way you get those free lineups when you sign up. And then also, I do want to shout out Sleeper, because Sleeper is also doing a promotion for the start of the NFL season. They have a free square available. So as you can see on the screen here to my left, Joe Burrow's pass yards is set at 0.5. This is a free pick available to everyone over on Sleeper. And if you guys don't have an account on Sleeper, you can get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up and use code NOAH. We see a lot of these DFS apps, sports books. They're doing promotions for the start of the football season. They're trying to get new users in. Sleeper giving out a free square to everyone. Again, that's just another incentive to sign up right now. You always want to be using those free squares, those max discounts, because it's basically a free pick that's guaranteed to hit. And you just have to find any other props or plays you like to pair with that. So if you guys don't have a Sleeper account, download the Sleeper app and make sure that you sign up with promo code NOAH. Now, before we talk through our props for this Saturday, guys, I do want to recap our plays from our video last Saturday for week 1. So we gave out 4 picks in our video last Saturday. One of the picks that we did give out got taken off the board as I was recording the video, but then they added it back to the board, and that prop did hit. It was Steve Angeli's over on pass attempts. We hit 3 out of our 4 plays, though. The one play that unfortunately missed was Marcel Reed's over on rush attempts, 9.5. He finished with 8 rush attempts, came up just short of his line. I think he did get benched for the last drive of the game because it was kind of a blowout, which was the one concern that I had with that prop. I don't know if he would have played that final drive. Would he have gotten 2 more rush attempts? It's a possibility. Who knows? But 3 out of our 4 plays did cash last Saturday. So hopefully you guys were still able to make some money. We did cash all 6 of our plays that we gave out on Patreon last week. These are the 6 plays I gave out on Patreon. Some of these plays you can see were given out on YouTube. I think the Braylon Braxton fantasy score we gave out on YouTube, the Angeli pass attempts, the Bryant Wesco fantasy score we gave out. So some of the plays I give out on YouTube, I also do share on Patreon as well. But I do want to shout out Patreon because I am running a promotion for the start of the NFL and college football season. You can get 50% off your first month of the Patreon when you sign up with code football. Code football. You shouldn't even have to type in the code, though, because if you go to the Patreon, if you click the link in the description, it should just already pop up at the top of the screen. Get 50% off your first month or first year. This promotion does end after Monday Night Football. So it ends Monday night at midnight or at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So you've got basically the rest of the weekend and the end of Monday night to decide if you want to try out this promotion or not. Typically, it would be $20 a month to join the Patreon, but you're going to get 50% off, so it'll be $10 for your first month. Or if you want to try out a yearly membership, get access to all my NFL, college football plays, and get access to NBA as well, which does start up in a few months. You can get a yearly membership. Normally, it would be $220, but you can get a yearly membership for $110 for your first year. So you can try out both the yearly and the monthly package, whichever one would work best for you. Get access to all the Prizepicks plays I give out, not only the picks I give out on YouTube, but I do give out more plays behind the paywall on Patreon. You can get your first month for just $10, get access to all my Prizepicks plays, and get in our Discord chat as well. That's another perk you receive when you become a Patreon member. You can get in our Discord, you can ask me questions, you can talk with other members of the community. But if you guys have ever wanted to try out the Patreon, I am running a sale for the start of the football season. That's linked down below in the description. Click that link and it should automatically apply the discount once you sign up for whatever package you do choose. But let's talk about some plays I like for college football this week on Prizepicks, and let's break them down. So the first prop that I like for Saturday is going to be a pass yards prop, and we're going to be looking at Walker Eget, 153.5 pass yards. I do like the over here, so more than 153.5 pass yards on Walker Eget. Now, this line is really low on Eget, mainly because of the matchup against Texas. Texas, obviously, one of the toughest defenses in the country. Going on the road to play Texas is not it's a very tough environment. But Walker Eget is a quarterback that we typically see have a pass yards line. His pass yards projections are usually like over 300 yards because San Jose State, they are one of the most, if not the most pass-heavy offense in the country. Last year, they led the country in pass attempts per game. They also led the country in pass play percentage. So they were a team that a lot of their offensive plays were pass plays. And in this spot against Texas on the road, this does set up as a game script where San Jose State is gonna be forced to throw if they want to just even stay in this game. I think the way this prop fails is if San Jose State, if they just can't get anything going on offense, they're going 3 and out every possession, and then Eget gets benched and they bring in some of the backups. That's the possibility, and that's, I think, the way this would fail. But if we get a full 4 quarters from Walker Eget, I think he's got a pretty good chance of throwing for 154 yards because this San Jose State team, they're going to throw the ball down the field. They're going to take shots. They're going to drop back a ton. It's just a matter of if they can be somewhat efficient in this matchup. Obviously, facing a very good Texas defense, you expect their efficiency to be worse than it normally would be. But I think the sports books are really docking his lines for this matchup. I mean, his lines are like 50% lower than what they would normally be in any other matchup. And I know Texas has a very good defense. I'm not saying they don't. But man, docking his lines 50% due to matchup, I feel like it's a little bit of an over-exaggeration. I think this line should be like 200.5, something like that, 205. I think 153 is definitely too low on Walker Eget here. Again, I think if this prop fails, it's because San Jose State gets their doors blown off and Eget doesn't even play the full 4 quarters or gets benched early in the game. But if San Jose State keeps it within 21, 28 points and Eget plays the whole game, I think he's going to throw for 154 yards because San Jose State's going to throw the ball probably every play like they like to do. So that's what I like as our first prop for today. Walker Eget over 153.5 pass yards. You could also take a look at his pass attempts line, which is at 31.5. That's another prop that I do like. I think I feel a little bit better about his pass yards because if he gets a couple big plays, like a couple maybe 20, 30-yard catches, then obviously that's going to be super valuable for his yards. But if the efficiency or if the big plays just aren't really there and they're just having to do a lot of check downs, a lot of quick passes, then you could definitely think about looking at his over on pass attempts. But both these props I do like for Saturday. I feel a little bit better, though, about the pass yards for Walker Eget. Now, the next 2 props that I like for Saturday are going to be fantasy score props. And if you're new to the channel, I take a lot of college football fantasy scores, really for every sport. I think fantasy score on Prizepicks is one of the best stat types you can take because there's not a lot of data that goes into fantasy score. It's also not a very popular stat type to play. A lot of casual players don't take fantasy score props either because they don't understand the scoring system or whatever it may be. But when you understand the scoring system, when you know how the lines are calculated, there's plays you can find for fantasy score that offer a lot of value. And there's a couple ones that I do like for Saturday for college football. First one that we're going to take is Nico. I think it's Iamaleava. I think that's how you say his last name. We're going to take him for more than 17.5 fantasy score. Now, Nico did really struggle last week in his UCLA debut. Obviously, he was on Tennessee last year, transferred over to UCLA. Did not play very well in his debut with UCLA. Only had 13.14 fantasy points. In that game, he threw for 136 yards and 1 touchdown, and then he also did run for 47 yards. And Nico is a dual threat quarterback. He does offer rushing upside, which for fantasy score, that's super valuable. Anytime you can get quarterbacks who can give you fantasy points both as a passer and as a runner, it makes them super, super valuable. And Nico does offer rushing upside. I know last week he wasn't very efficient as a passer, only completed 50% of his passes, only threw for 136 yards. But that was a very difficult matchup last week against Utah. Utah has historically been a very good defense. They've historically been a tough team to pass on. This should be a really good bounce back spot for Nico facing UNLV. UNLV defensively, definitely not a team we should really worry about. Last year, you look at UNLV's defensive stats, they actually did have some solid defensive stats. I think they only allowed like 21 points per game. But UNLV also plays in the Mountain West, which is just not the same level of competition as the Big Ten, the conference that UCLA plays in. So I think this is a really good spot for UCLA to be able to put up some points, be able to bounce back after a tough spot last week against Utah, where just their whole offense struggled last week. This week, you look at their team total, they've got a 27.5 team total. So like the sportsbooks are expecting UCLA to score, 28.5 team total. So the sportsbooks are expecting UCLA to score, 4 touchdowns here. And if UCLA scores 4 touchdowns, there's a very good chance that Nico's probably accounting for 2 of those touchdowns. And if he gets 2 touchdowns, pretty good chance of him going over this fantasy score line. I mean, if you just look at his projections, he's got a 223.5 pass yards line. So he's projected for about 9 fantasy points from pass yards. He's got a 33.5 rush yards line. So he's projected to get an additional 3 points from rush yards. So he's projected for about 12 points just from yards. And then you've got to factor in touchdowns. I think there's a very good chance he throws for 1 touchdown. He could maybe throw for 2 touchdowns here. He also has rushing potential. He could definitely run a touchdown in. I know he didn't have a rushing touchdown last week, but he did have 13 carries, 47 rush yards. He does offer that rushing upside. There's just a lot of ways for Nico to get 17.5 fantasy points, especially in what should be a good matchup for him against a pretty bad UNLV team that so far this season, I think UNLV, they gave up 31 points to Idaho State. I mean, UNLV barely beat Idaho State. They gave up 21 points last week to Sam Houston. Like, this UNLV defense is definitely not scary at all. So this should be a really good matchup for Nico. Like, this is a bounce back spot for him. Going to take him for more than 17.5 fantasy score. And then our other prop that I like is another fantasy score. And we're going to take Bear Botmeyer for more than 16.5 fantasy score. Now, Bear Botmeyer is the starting quarterback for BYU. He is a freshman quarterback, so we don't have a lot of college tape on him. His game last week against, I think they played Preston State or Portland State. Yeah, his game last week against Portland State, that was his first college start of his career, and he was really good. Now, he only played in the first half because BYU was up 49-0 at halftime, so they basically just benched him for the rest of the game because no point in throwing him back out there when they're up 49 points. But in the first half last week against Portland State, Botmeyer threw for 97 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then ran for 32 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, sure, scoring 5 touchdowns in one half is obviously not going to happen again. Like, that's not sustainable. But this is a really good spot, once again, for Botmeyer to be able to produce going up against Stanford. Stanford's defense, they've historically been a really bad defensive team as well. They've historically been a team you can really beat through the air. Last year, Stanford was top 5 in pass yards allowed per game, 287.5. Stanford also gave up a bunch of points per game. They gave up just over 36 points per game, which was towards the top of the country. Like, this was a really weak Stanford defense, and I think this is a really good spot for Botmeyer to once again be able to put up some good numbers. And if you look at Botmeyer like as a player, so for one, he wears number 47, which is obviously very unique for a quarterback. But the guy is 6'2", and he's 220 pounds. He's built like a running back. So he is a guy that can, kind of similar to Nico, he can give you that rushing upside, those rushing yards, those rushing touchdowns. Last week he did have 32 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. This week he's projected for 192 pass yards, which gives him about 8 fantasy points. He has a 1.5 passing touchdowns line. So if he throws a touchdown, that's an additional 4 points. If he throws 2 touchdowns, that would be an additional 8 points. We don't have any rush yards props up for Botmeyer, but again, this guy is built like a running back, and he will run it a lot. He ran it 5 times last week for 32 yards. He's not afraid to scramble. He'll take hits as well. If you actually look at highlights, if you look at highlights from their game last week against Portland State, he was tucking the ball and running it like a running back. He was leaning down with his head, trying to take hits. He's built he's just not your traditional quarterback. So this type of guy is someone that very valuable for fantasy, can give you fantasy upside, not only as a passer, but as a runner. And it's a great matchup here against a pretty bad Stanford defense that has been really bad against the pass historically. BYU, I think they have a team total over 30 points. So BYU's projected to score 4 touchdowns here. If they score 4 touchdowns, pretty good chance that Botmeyer is going to account for at least 2 of those. And if that's the case, I think he's got a pretty good chance of going over 16.5 fantasy score. And if you look on Underdog right now, Underdog does do fantasy score lines as well. They have their line on Botmeyer set at 19.55. So they have their line over 3 points higher than what Prizepicks does. So we're getting a very soft line on Prizepicks here relative to the other fancy score lines around the market. I think this line on Botmeyer is definitely at least 2 to 3 points too low. It's a prop that I do like for this week. So that's going to be our third play for Saturday. Going to take Bear Botmeyer for more than 16.5 fantasy score. So we got 3 plays here for this slate on Saturday, guys. Again, appreciate you guys' support. Appreciate you guys watching these Prizepicks videos. Make sure before you get out of here that you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, go sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH when you sign up. And when you play $5, you're going to get $50 worth of free lineups instantly added to your account just for signing up with code NOAH. So check them out, guys, if you have not yet. But that's all that I got for Saturday. Let's make some money this college football Saturday, and I'll see you guys in the next video.